Okay, I think we got it. Good. We're going to start over. My name's Rita Hickman. I'm a body mind expert and I'm a shiatsu massage therapist, and I help women in narcissistic and toxic relationships. And today we're talking about how narcissists know how to push your buttons, how they know how to hurt you the most. One of the things that people don't understand about narcissists is that they're predators. Right, wrong, good or bad, they're predators. In fact, I know a lot of great people who are naturally, they have that little bit of a predatory instinct, and they'll direct it towards something else, towards achievement, towards their job, towards championing a cause. But there is definitely a predator element. For a narcissist, the predator element is in regards to other people, to keeping themselves feeling safe, to keeping themselves feeling stable and grounded and emotionally in balance. Because at their core, because they don't know how to control how they feel, they don't know how to regulate their emotions. At their core, they don't feel safe. And so one of the things that they do when they meet people is they start to investigate a little bit more. They start to ask them questions, find out more about them, and test the waters. They'll test it with different, comments, different pushing of the buttons. I remember reading a story once. I've been lucky enough never to be in any sort of physical violence. But I definitely remember reading a story of a woman who had to get out of a domestic abuse situation. And how did the relationship start? It started with, they were driving along one day, everything was fine. And then he just reached over and hit her in the face while he was driving. And then, of course, apologized, and she was in shock. And, but it was this testing to see whether she'd put up with it or not. And she did, and she forgave it and moved on. And, but then it would escalate, and then it would get worse. Because what a narcissist does is they're trying to find your weak spots. They're trying to find the spots that make them feel like they have some control. They're trying to look for the things that they feel they have more power in the relationship. Now, many women who are super strong and super resilient, as a lot of empathic and compassionate women are, they have a high tolerance level for many things, especially emotional violence and physical violence too. We have a high tolerance level for those sorts of things. And so when a narcissist comes along, they know exactly how to find out what will bother you. And what will bother you the most every single time is the same thing that bothers them: a sense of safety. Because a narcissist doesn't feel safe because they don't feel secure, because they don't feel in control of themselves. They don't feel in control of their own emotions. They don't feel in control of the environment that they're in. They need to find something or someone that they can control. And the fastest, easiest way is to find out what makes the other person feel not safe. So in Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it's a pyramid of needs. And the very base one is a feeling of safety. If you don't feel safe, then you are going to be in a constant state of fight or flight, of agitation, of discomfort. And a narcissist looks for and finds the things that will make you feel most unsafe. So how do you work with this? How do you deal with this? Because now you're in a relationship with someone who is purposely trying to hurt you, purposely trying to make you feel insecure and that you don't have a stable footing. The way you reverse this is by finding things that help you not feel helpless. So if you're afraid of physical violence, then you go and you take a self-defense class. If you are afraid of them blackmailing you in some way, you start putting a community in place of people that will support you, even if the blackmail came out. And there's a lot of people who are like that, a lot of good people who understand where you're coming from and will support you, that won't judge you and won't vilify you. So you start creating that community. If you feel you're going to be financially dependent, you really need to start finding ways where you can be financially secure, whether that be going for a divorce and it's 50-50, whether it's you find another relationship that can financially support you, or whether you do actively work to develop your skills so that you can be financially independent yourself. A narcissist will use the things which will make you feel most unsafe in life. And they've been looking for them and they'll find them. And this lack of empathy thing, it's because they're mainly focused on the fact that they feel unsafe. And so they need to make you feel as unsafe as possible too. The problem is that they're still in the position of power because they are willing to do things which you aren't willing to do, because they have already developed this system where they can be secure no matter what happens, where they can feel safe themselves no matter what happens. They will be looking out for number one. They'll be looking out for how they can feel the best, irregardless of anybody else. So a narcissist is looking from the beginning for things which will make them feel like they've got an upper hand, like they've got all the cards, all the aces, and that they can direct the game. And when they have that, when they're in that place of security, they're usually much easier to get along with. They are much safer to be with. But as soon as they feel insecure, they're going to look for ways to make other people feel insecure and other people feel unsafe, because that's the core level. It's not just about hurting you, it's about hurting you at the deepest level where you feel like you are helpless and hopeless and there's nothing you can do. And this is how a lot of women get trapped, because they don't realize or they don't have the resources yet that they need in order to make real change. Because when you're constantly afraid for your child or your life or your health, or if you're constantly worried about how safe you are, that keeps you in a very controllable, manipulated position, one that allows the narcissist to feel calmer and more in control. So you're actually part of a narcissist stress management toolkit. They need to feel in control. They find somebody that they can control. They feel insecure and unsafe. So they find somebody that that they can find and push those safety buttons so that they're off balance. Because at the bottom of the pyramid, bottom of Maslow's pyramid, is that safety piece. So how do you rewind that? You start to rewind it by, first of all, recognizing that there's help out there, and then starting to actively look for and find the thing that the narcissist pushes in you. If it's financial security, you start finding ways to be more financial secure. If it's emotionally insecure, that way. If it's physically insecure, if it's in regards to your child or your family, where there's a threat to that, you start getting them into a safe place. Because when a narcissist can no longer threaten the things that matter most to you, your sense of safety, when they can no longer threaten that safety, they lose a lot of power, because now you're not going to react because they aren't pulling the rug out from underneath you again. So it's important to remember that if you are reacting to a narcissist with anger, if you're triggering, it's not just your old wounds. It's also a sense of safety and a sense of security. It's not in your head and you're not crazy. They are threatening the thing which means the most to you, and they do it purposely because they don't realize or recognize or care that it's affecting you at such a deep, vulnerable level. So is it misunderstanding on some level? Yeah, of course it's misunderstanding, because a narcissist, when they are in their full blown anger, hurt, or frustration, or reaction, or needing to feel in control, they are in such a place of their own fight or flight that anything goes. And they're going to fight and hurt as dirty as they can so that they can feel back in a place of control, so that they have power again. That's why bullies choose people that they feel more powerful than, because it's that level, that deep level of that they don't feel safe. But you don't have to make excuses, and you don't have to tolerate it. What you can do is that you can start putting things in place that make you feel hopeful, that make you feel like you've got some power, that make you feel like you are supported, that let you know that even if a narcissist goes pear-shaped, that you have got the resources that you need to be okay. Friends, you've got if extended family, or people who are like family, if you've got resources and support systems. When you have those things in place, then a narcissist loses their ability to make you feel as crazy as you feel. So if you're in that position, the way out is to start putting things in place that will help you deal with your biggest insecurities, whatever they are, your biggest fears about safety. And when you start putting those things in place, that's when you're able to walk into your power and start speaking up for yourself. Okay. So if you feel stuck, if you don't want to do this alone, reach out. I've got, a library of free videos, which are searchable, hundreds of them on narcissism and mental and emotional health. I've, as well as happiness and pleasure and all that neat stuff. I've got a group that I work with, where we go deeper on dealing with the things that have gotten you sort of in this place in the first place. Or people work with me one-on-one for coaching. If they're local, they come in, and if they're not local, then we do it over video. But either way, you need to start rebuilding your resources so narcissism doesn't have that control over you. Because as long as you don't feel safe, they are going to be in the position of power. And so that's the main thing you need to work on, is feeling safe again. Okay. So I hope you have a great day. I'm looking forward to seeing everyone tomorrow. And I hope my videos the Wi-Fi gets itself sorted out. I hope you have a great day. Bye.